Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Just put it with Sarthak. Today we have a very special guest on this video, Anjali. She is working as a software engineer at Walmart. But today in this video, in the part 1, we will be discussing a lot about her interview experiences, what are the different companies that she is applied to, and out of all those companies, there is one unique company which is Goldman Sachs, and we will be listening all about her interview experience regarding Goldman. What was the round structure, how many number of rounds, how did she applied, what kind of questions were asked during the interviews, and how she was able to tackle all those questions the best way. What are the various interview panels, and how long did it take to complete the whole process of applying to the Goldman and getting the final offer letter. And moving forward, we will be discussing a lot of these things in depth and identifying what are the key ideas, why she chose software development, what are the perks of being an engineer, and all those things in this video. I hope you all enjoy this video, and abhi tak yaar subscribe nahi kara, so please just subscribe to my channel. Before starting with the video, let's thank the supporter of this channel, Newton School. So guys, what is Newton School? Newton School एक edtech startup है जहाँ पे you can learn more about different technologies out there. They will help you get job offers from these top tech companies, and उनका एक बहुत ही अच्छा प्रोग्राम है जहाँ पे आपको ₹1 भी पे नहीं करना है जब तक आपके इन कंपनीज में जॉब नहीं लग जाता. They have very good offerings with this course, live classes, industrial projects, mock interviews, and personal mentoring. I will put the link in the description, and I suggest you all to check this out and explore their courses. So hello everyone. Today we have a very special guest, Aradhya, with us. So Anjali, she is working as an SD at Walmart, and she will be sharing a lot of her experiences, how the work culture is at Walmart, what were her interview experiences, and apart from that, we will be getting a lot of information about what were the other various companies that she might have applied, and what were the differences between those interviews and Walmart interview, and what can an aspiring software developer should look out for, what would be the right process, what are the different resources that person can refer to. And before starting, let me move over to Anjali. Can you share a little bit about yourself? What was your professional experiences, your backstory?
Sure. So, hi everyone, this is Anjali Vatla. I am currently working as a software engineer at Walmart Mobile Technology based out of Bangalore under search and personalization team, which is basically responsible for everything that is happening behind the search part of the Walmart product. So you could say in layman language that my team is the Google of Walmart. And prior to this, I was working at an organization named BNY Mellon as an SD intern for 6 months. I've done my engineering from Maharaja Agharsen Institute of Technology under the computer science department. That's it about it for now.
Yeah, so many congratulations for you for joining Walmart and getting that offer and getting a wonderful team to work with, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, so moving forward, how do you get into software development? What made you move into this domain? What was the backstory behind that?
Sure, that's really a tricky one. Actually, to be honest, I started my engineering as per the will of my parents, not mine. I never, I always wanted to be a doctor.
Okay.
Engineering का तो कभी मैंने सोचा ही नहीं था कि I'll pursue this path or something. But gladly, I ended my engineering without any regrets of that decision. I was very happy कि वो decision मेरे लिए लिया गया या मैंने भी उसको pursue किया किसी तरीके से. So I enjoy being into development now. It's fun, every day you're working there, you are developing something, you are innovative with something. At the end of the day, you're having a product at your hand.
Right.
When I was in my second year, basically, I knew nothing about coding, absolutely nothing about coding, not even a C. So I used to feel that this is not meant for me. I can't do this. No, this path is just not meant for me. I have to give up. I even had these dreams, कि I won't even graduate. मैं complete ही नहीं हो पाएगी maybe. So, but
every engineer's dream.
Sure. So things started to change around me. मेरी thinking change होने start हो गई. जैसे थोड़ा सा सब्जेक्ट्स बढ़ने लगे, थोड़ा सा नॉलेज मतलब पता लगने लगी फील्ड के रिगार्डिंग एंड ऑल. basically, being a developer, I have this capability with me that I could, create something innovative, something useful enough that could provide some sort of ease in people's life, that could change the
Mm-hmm.
way, people are struggling through the problems. Because every software product that has been launched into the market is
Right.
somewhere and somehow contributing to the problem that is existing
Mm-hmm.
society में. So ये वाला mindset, this one little fact actually changed the entire mindset that I had regarding this field. ये
Mm-hmm.
मैंने किसी काउंसलिंग सेशन में सुना था और तब ऐसा सॉर्ट ऑफ वेबिनार सॉर्ट ऑफ था, तो वहां
Okay.
से मेरी थिंकिंग काफी चेंज हुई इसको लेके, सॉफ्टवेयर फील्ड को लेके. तो
Mm-hmm.
आई स्टार्टेड डिगिंग इनटू इट कि लेट्स एटलीस्ट गिव इट अ ट्राई,
Mm-hmm.
कि बिना ट्राई किए तो गिव अप करना बनता नहीं है, तो
Right.
लेट्स एटलीस्ट ट्राई एक बार. So I started my coding with Java around, I guess, fourth semester or something around that.
Mm-hmm.
And धीरे बहुत मुश्किल था, कुछ भी समझ नहीं आता था मुझे तब भी. फिर उसके बाद someone suggested me कि go as per my interest that Android development would suit very much to you. So
Mm-hmm.
at least give it a try. So I
Okay.
started with Android development then, because Java आती थी तो Java based Android development start कर ली.
Mm-hmm.
एंड उस एंड्रॉइड डेवलपमेंट का कोर्स मेरे जो मेंटोर थे उन्होंने मुझे बहुत हेल्प करी. उन्होंने
Mm-hmm.
मुझे काफी बहुत बेटर तरीके से मतलब जो मेरा फोबिया था रिगार्डिंग कोडिंग, नॉट ओनली जस्ट डेवलपमेंट,
Mm-hmm.
प्रॉपर कोडिंग, कॉम्पिटिटिव कोडिंग के रिगार्डिंग भी जो मेरे दिमाग में एक फोबिया बैठा हुआ था, उन्होंने उसमें भी उससे रिकवर करने में भी हेल्प मी अ लॉट.
Mm-hmm.
And after that I actually enjoyed being a developer, and I'm very proud of saying I'm an engineer now. So that was the story behind it. That's how I was introduced into it.
Awesome. Like this is one of the wonderful stories that I've heard so far. And I do believe कि uh, whenever you become an engineer or like it's a software developer, you create a good effect or impact on the society and people at large, their life. Like every day, you if like any software, any product that you have built, that creates a little bit of change in the society. So you are anyway improving lives of people at large, and they are all enjoying your product. Like kudos to everyone out there who is doing this amazing work. Right.
Right,
Yeah.
actually.
And I can totally relate with that. Like couple of my friends, and somewhere we have that feeling in India that you have to be engineer first, and then you can decide what you want to be next, right? So yeah, a couple of people even at some time I believe that I have also taken that decision in that peer pressure or like in the flow that I should pursue engineering, and that later on I can decide what I want to actually do.
That actually worked well for me.
Yeah, yeah. Looking back to 4 years, you decide like, हाँ, actually अच्छा ही हो गया. ये 4 साल निकल गए. I am at a good place,
Right.
right?
Hmm.
Okay. So I can totally relate, and everyone who is at their place first year or second year doubting their decisions, you don't have to because at the end of the day, you
Yeah,
might
don't
end up
doubt
doing very
it.
good. Yeah, correct.
Right, explore as much as you can.
Right. So, मतलब आपको नहीं पता कि what all has been stored for you in life, what are the different opportunities that you are
Exactly.
getting into, right?
Right.
And the second part that I definitely agree with that. So the starting wala phase hota beginner wala coding wala, that's so tough. You cannot relate much to it. But whenever you shift to development part, you can directly see whatever you're doing, the things that are changing on a screen or whatever you're doing, like makes more sense, make more
Right.
really real it like what I would say,
Exactly.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like what I can relate it much better way, and I can definitely recommend if you are doing like if you are hesitant or uh, much more in a fear of coding, you can definitely go via the development route and you can enjoy the things at a good level, right?
Right. Development eventually grows on you.
Correct. मतलब धीरे धीरे वो इतना अच्छा लगने लगता है कि that you anyway turns into a coder and developer and you don't want to leave it at any cost,
Exactly.
right? Okay. So moving with the next question, like uh, what are the different companies that you applied to? What were the different offers that you got before joining the Walmart? Yeah, if you can share the detail.
Let me count. I'll have to actually keep a count of it. Um, if we talk about applying, then
Hmm.
there'll be multiple options, I guess.
Okay.
I can't even keep count of it. इतने सारे ऑप्शन थे यार इतनी जगह अप्लाई किया था.
Correct.
So jokes apart, I actually applied at multiple companies, MNCs like Amazon, BNY Mellon, Waymo, Microsoft, Google,
Mhm.
or Waymo, yeah, and various other options also, as in Swiggy,
Okay.
Zomato,
Mhm.
or but Goldman, in fact, Goldman conducts this program twice a year, the program through which I was selected. So I
Mhm.
applied it August and February. So I applied at Goldman during August also, but I wasn't selected back then. It's
Mhm.
Goldman too. And
Okay.
many more. I don't remember as such now.
So thank you so much for sharing these details. Like I know people who generally don't share these details, like wherever the companies are applied. And for that, I can easily say to all the people out there that hang in there. The right company is waiting for you. You just have to keep applying, keep your work, right? Doing that.
True.
Okay. So there was an interesting name that you mentioned, Goldman, and I would really love to know like what was the like interview process, and if you can share details about that, like how did you apply into that company, and so and so on.
Sure. As I told you earlier that I applied to Goldman Sachs via their engineering campus hiring program, which they
Mm-hmm.
conduct twice a year, one around August and the other one around mid-February. So
Okay.
I applied in the Feb one, and it basically consisted of two online assessments and
Mm-hmm.
three interviews, total as in 5 rounds, and
Okay.
it took about I guess 2 months, 1.5 to 2 months, almost,
Oh.
to complete the entire process from
Okay.
starting to end.
Yeah.
I know it's a lot.
Yeah. You have to be very patient with like it's 2 months is
Right.
right, a big enough time.
True. Actually, the entire interview process, like all the 3 rounds were taken on one single day, but
Mm-hmm.
there was a lot of gap between the online assessments.
Oh.
Basically, they were
Okay.
giving time to prepare, actually. I guess that's a
Mm-hmm.
good thing.
Okay. Yeah, that's good to know. Like if companies do give you time to prepare for yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, if you can share more details about like what were the questions level, difficulty level, like in the online assessment rounds and in the FTF rounds, what kind of different questions were asked in each round? Like, are they specifically related to coding itself, or they were any computer fundamentals question? Uh, what kind of questions were asked around your projects or resume? If you can share the details as well.
Sure. The first online assessment round was totally aptitude based.
Mm-hmm.
There were, I guess, five to six
Mm-hmm.
sections, and they have one section which is subjective, totally subjective. They have two questions based on real life, as in what sort of things inspired you to be here, or something that you think that pushed you towards your dreams, something as a sort of questions.
Okay.
So both the questions are, I guess, of 10 marks each,
Mm-hmm.
and the aptitude level is very strong. I mean, it's very, very difficult. The aptitude
Okay.
online assessment, the first online assessment. Um, and after that, after the online assessment, basically in the online assessment, the topics covered were quant, numerical reasoning, logical reasoning. They have different sections, for each
Mm-hmm.
topic. And each section comprises almost of 8 to 10 questions on
Mm-hmm.
average basis,
Okay.
comprehensions and reasoning ability, uh, and somewhat mathematical questions,
Okay.
so based on those sectors. After that, about after a span of, I guess, 30 days, 20 to
Mm-hmm.
20, 25 to 30 days, they conduct an online assessment, which
Okay.
basically comprises again of 4 to 5 sections. First section would be of two coding questions,
Mm-hmm.
moderate amount of difficulty level, medium difficulty level, you could say.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, there's, I guess, one or two sections based on CS fundamentals. I
Okay.
don't remember it exactly, but at least one of the sections was based on CS fundamentals, and there's another section which is again a coding question, a
Okay.
single coding question in that entire section, but that coding question is of high difficulty.
Okay.
And again, I guess there was two subjective questions in the coding assessment also regarding
Mm-hmm.
real life experiences and all.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, the results were out, I guess, in 15 to 20 days after
Oh,
the online assessment. It took 10, 15 or 20 days. I don't remember the exact number now, but it took more than 2 weeks. This I
okay.
remember. So after that, we were called out for interviews, just
Mm-hmm.
people who were selected, and the entire interview process was conducted on one single day.
Mm-hmm.
In the first round, it was completely technical. It took place for about an hour or so, I guess. And
Okay.
firstly, as soon as the round started, interviewer asked me to introduce myself, and it
Mm-hmm.
took almost 15 to 20 minutes in the introduction part itself in the first round.
Okay.
He actually, I told him about my experiences and etc. So he started
Mm-hmm.
cross questioning regarding it.
Okay.
He asked me certain questions based on the project. Yeah, he started going through my resume, and then he asked me certain questions on the project that I was working on back then during my internship,
Mm-hmm.
and the tech I was working on. What's the use case that I feel regarding it? I mean, he was basically trying to see that what do I feel about the project that the company is
Okay.
company has assigned to me. That is it useful according to my thoughts and etc.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
then he asked me one coding question. Then we jumped to the coding part, and he asked one coding question, which was basically an implementation of merge sort.
Okay.
Eventually, like at the end, that was solved. Basically, the code
Uh-huh.
entire was of merge sort,
Mm-hmm.
and but the story that he built up during the question explaining part was so huge that he was actually trying to confuse me through the
Mm-hmm.
entire story, think कि यार बहुत बड़ा क्वेश्चन आएगा, इसमें तो ग्राफ भी
अच्छा,
लग जाएगा, इसमें तो स्टैक भी लग जाएगा. तो
ठीक है.
दे डू दिस. गोल्डमैन में वो लोग ये बहुत करते हैं कि वो काफी स्ट्रेस वाला एनवायरनमेंट क्रिएट करने का
Mm-hmm.
और कंफ्यूज करने का, थोड़ा ऐसा. यूजुअली उनके जितने भी क्वेश्चंस होते हैं ना
Mm-hmm.
coding related, they are basically of medium level, max to
Okay.
max medium level.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere or around, you must have done that question before
Okay.
or a variant of it.
Mm-hmm.
So they actually try to confuse the interview कि वो बंदा फंस जाए किसी तरीके से वहां पे.
Right.
And again, the next question, then he gave me another coding question, and the question was basically a variation of edit distance. TP का question था.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly edit distance नहीं था, but it was somewhat around it. But formula वही था, just एक दो terms इधर उधर करना था. So it was a variation of edit distance.
Okay.
Then after the coding questions, I explained my approach to him,
Mm-hmm.
and he was quite satisfied with it. Then he started asking questions regarding OOPS concepts, and as in inheritance, pillars
Mm-hmm.
of OOPS, or
Okay.
data structures के बारे में थोड़ा बहुत, as in Java, array list versus linked list, what is the
Mm-hmm.
difference, or some questions were based on Java because I was using Java to code. So he asked me
Mm-hmm.
certain questions related to Java, as in memory management, how does it take place in Java,
Okay.
and threads and processes, what process the JVM follows, what sort of compiler is present in it, etc.,
Mm-hmm.
etc. So Java core Java concepts.
Okay.
That's how the first round ended. In the second round, again, it was a technical round. It almost took, I guess, 45 to 50 minutes in that round also. And we had a short introduction
Mm-hmm.
starting, and then he directly jumped to the coding part. He asked me it was an easy coding question, which was basically of sorting again. But in
Okay.
that, you had to, create a customized comparator. In Java,
Okay.
we can create customized comparators and all. So that
Mm-hmm.
was an implementation of it. Then he asked me another coding question, which was, you must have heard about it, that you have n gas stations and we have to make a circular visit, that
Mm-hmm.
we have to find like the index of the station from which if we start, then we'll about to take the round trip and something.
Okay.
So that was the exact question of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then after I explained my approach to it, we shifted to the concepts part. Then he
Mm-hmm.
asked me certain questions again regarding OOPS pillars, polymorphism, compile
Okay.
time and runtime polyformism. Some questions based out of DBMS also, as in deadlock situations and its preventions,
Okay.
and paging, segmentation and paging,
Mm-hmm.
कि उसमें कैसे कैसे होता है. So he went quite deep into the paging part.
Okay.
कि
The
how
OS is also important, right?
OS is also important.
Okay.
He asked me certain questions regarding singleton classes in Java, like what are these classes and how are these implemented, and what's the use case of it, etc., etc. Static versus non-static.
Mm-hmm.
Finalize जो होता है, finalize का meaning पूछ लिया, but उन्होंने मतलब he was more actually trying to getting in depth of every question he was asking.
Okay.
Be it even as small as hoops का concept. तो वो
Mm-hmm.
उसमें भी बहुत deep जा रहे थे.
Okay.
और after this he asked me to I guess he gave me one puzzle. I don't remember the puzzle now, but it was quite an easy one.
Okay.
We could solve it easily. Next, the third round was manager based round,
Mm-hmm.
and it took almost I guess 30 to 35 minutes. The round was about 30 to 35 minutes. The interviewer first asked me to introduce myself, and then started going through my resume, and he started asking questions regarding the projects that I've done, regarding the use cases of the projects again.
Okay.
Like where are you, we usually tell the entire story of the project, that we have done this that problem हमने solve करा, but
Okay.
he wasn't convinced, in entire, like all the three interview processes, they were actually focusing on the use case part a lot.
अच्छा.
Be it
Okay.
कोई भी concept हो, कुछ भी अगर वो पूछ रहे थे तो वो उसके साथ साथ use cases भी पूछ रहे थे. So we started asking questions regarding the use cases of the projects that I've done. कि कहाँ पर आप अभी, you're saying that you've solved this problem. So where are you implementing the solution yourself? Are you implementing it or just वो GitHub पे रखा हुआ है? So he was asking questions like that. Technologies use करी है, अगर मतलब मान लो React use करी है तो React को alternate क्यों नहीं use करा, Angular क्यों नहीं use करा, अगर एंड्रॉइड पे काम कर रहा है तो जावा में क्यों कर रहा है, कॉटलिन क्यों नहीं करते, ऐसे क्वेश्चंस he was asking a lot. So I was working on Docker back then during my internship. So he started asking me questions regarding Docker, कि Docker files कैसे बनती, Docker images कैसे बनती हैं, Docker images को जब create करता है तो कौन कौन सी files चाहिए होती हैं, so the entire process. Again, polymorphism related questions, oops based questions, और DBMS की एक दो queries पूछी थी उन्होंने मुझसे, like easy one. The difference, as in I don't remember the exact query now, but जैसे DML DCL उनके बीच का difference question पूछा था एक, तो जो basic DBMS concepts होते हैं.
Theoretical as well as practical question as well.
उन्होंने और लास्ट राउंड में बिहेवियर क्वेश्चंस भी थे, एज इन की व्हाट्स योर ड्रीम कंपनी, व्हाई डू यू वांट टू जॉइन गोल्डमैन सैक्स, वेयर डू यू सी योरसेल्फ नेक्स्ट 5 years. With situational based question, because manager round था, so it also consisted of some situational based questions कि टीम में ये हो गया तो कैसे करोगे, etc. Okay.
Yeah, amazing experience that you shared. Like there are a couple of learnings that I could gather that so basically you can have multiple rounds. You have to be very patient about when will the result come, what will the result and outcome. You have to be like hang in there, keep waiting for it.
Right.
And the first part that I get that the interviewer was not only focusing on the coding part, but they were also focused on your learnings on computer science fundamentals. They were also focused on your projects, your introduction. And the one part that attracted to me was like they were also keen on understanding what kind of projects that you like the projects that you have done, what are their impacts and what you can do. So this is something that everybody should be very careful about what they are putting in resume. You might get asked out of it, right?
Exactly. So, you should not, bluff about anything during your interview. Do not bluff about anything.
Right. Yeah. And exactly, like they also try to test out the waters, how much you know in the depth, and they try to confuse out of you, like by creating a stress situation. So they just want to test the actual environment काफी stressful होने वाला है while working. So how will the person will perform in this stressful, right? I think a good
I also
tactic.
interpreted that.
Yeah, it's a good tactic. Interviewer knows that like anyway there's going to be some stress while working. So how is the person is going to react in that case scenario? Yeah, great. And the other thing that I realized is that is consistent among the other rounds is that uh, they have like covered all the bases around for interview part. So they have some meta-ability questions. They were asking computer fundamentals, the OS, DBMS, and networking. They were going in depth on it. They were not asking them super on a superficial level. That was something great. Also, they focused on queries and theoretical knowledge as well. And also, you mentioned there was a small puzzle, so they were also checking some kind of mental ability with that part, right?
Right.
Okay, so that is that the anybody who is preparing for Goldman should be aware that you should not only focus on coding part. You have to be very much careful about the other aspects of it. You should be knowing all these details upfront before the interview. That you have to study about all these things,
Exactly.
like. Right. And also, just a heads up, if you manage to clear all these rounds and all these things in the last behavioral round, you have to be prepared for the situational cases. They can ask you things like if somebody XYZ has happened in your team or XYZ had happened in your org, what will you do? What are you going to be next steps? Any previous examples of leadership qualities and all that. So be prepared for that. Yeah. Yeah. So,
So
folks.
I've seen the trend in this.
Mhm.
Usually, students get stuck in these situational questions more comparative to the coding part because they are well prepared for the coding part. They know the
Correct.
syllabus and they are going through it again and again
Mhm.
throughout the entire engineering. But
Correct.
situational questions are the part which they usually face problem with.
Mhm. That is so true that I certainly agree with that. So basically, I have seen the students are more focused on the engineering and the coding questions part, and they are not focused on the behavioral round as well. But so like all the audience out there, you should also emphasize on that because it is the last round. It is a managerial round, and the word they use internally is behavioral fit or company fit round. वो चेक ही यही करें कि आप कंपनी के लिए कितना फिट हैं, आप कितना एलिजिबल हैं, राइट?
Exactly. Yeah,
So
अपनी टीम में तुम कैसे adjust करोगे.
exactly. So a lot more emphasis on that. Like you might be what I can say. You might be very well versed with all the technologies and all the concepts. You might be very strong at your candidature. But if you are not a good person to be part of company, they might reject you. So it also holds a
Exactly.
good good level of importance over there, right?
True.
Yeah, and I do agree. So if you are not good at coding, you can improve that skill while working at the company. But the behavior is something that is part of your attitude, that you're part of your communication skills
True.
that you learn throughout your life. Like this is something that cannot be changed in a day or a month, right? So
Exactly.
yeah,
I totally
uh,
agree with that.
yeah, I think yeah, like guys who are preparing, be confident that you are going to crack all these rounds, and you have to sit in the behavioral fit round. So prepare for that as well. If you are
Yeah.
not.
So with this, we come to the end of the part 1 of this video. We were able to get a lot of information about Goldman, कैसे उनका interview process होता है, how does it affect the user, like how can you prepare for those interviews, what are the different questions that were asked, what are the complexity of the questions, what kind of questions were actually asked in the interviews, and we got a lot of information about how Goldman does this process for fresher candidates. We will be continuing with the part 2 of the video tomorrow, and we will exploring a lot of these things in more detail and extending our conversation towards Goldman versus Walmart. So please stay tuned stay tuned to my channel and get that video. Yeah. And अगर ये वीडियो अच्छा लगा दोस्तों, please share this with your friends who are aspiring to be a Goldman engineer. And also, if you really like this content, please support my channel by subscribing to it and liking this video. And I will be really appreciating that effort from your side. So with this, I take leave. See you in the next video. Bye bye.